Hi there. Are you a business owner and also have ADHD? It's very common. There's actually a lot of research around how entrepreneurship and ADHD are connected. So you can actually use your ADHD almost like a superpower. And that's what I want to talk about today. Who am I? I'm Nancy Quinn. I am a life and business coach helping service-based entrepreneurs grow their business to a greater level of profitability. I work with interior designers, coaches, and consultants. So let's get started. Before we get to talking specifically about how your ADHD can actually benefit your business and be used as a superpower, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will get notified of future videos. I work with a lot of interior designers, and that creative side often comes hand in hand with me being told they are also diagnosed with ADHD. So it's common. It's something I hear every single week. And I want to encourage you to use your ADHD tendencies to actually give you the advantage and create a business that you love. So let's go over some ways you can do that, because I think this is going to be very helpful to you. Whether you were diagnosed with ADHD or whether you suspect you have ADHD, this is going to help you. I love to talk about how time management is actually more like mind management. We all have the same amount of time. So how do some people get more things done than others? Well, first you have to figure out, how are you using your time? So below I have given you a time analysis worksheet that's going to help you track your time for 3 days and see actually where your time is going. This is the first step to understanding and getting control over your mind and how you are utilizing your time throughout the day and sometimes the night. So I would start there. Remember, time management is mind management. So let's get a handle on what you're doing with your time and your mind so that we can get it back on track to where you're more productive, because that's where you want to be. If you're watching this video, I know that's for sure. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is ignoring the label. I hear a lot, well, I'm ADHD, I'm ADD, that's why I do what I do. And I'm like, okay, I totally get it. That's why you do what you do. But what if we try ignoring that label? What if we try not saying that anymore and realize that's part of who we are as a person, and we've got to create systems and habits that still make us successful regardless of what the label is. So I'm going to suggest to you, ignore the label, stop talking about it, and let's just figure out how you can be more productive and more profitable as a business owner, regardless of a diagnosis of ADHD or a suspicion that you have ADD or ADHD. Next thing I want you to do is focus on yourself. Yep, just you. Nobody else. Block it out. I want blinders on. I don't want you looking at what anyone else is doing, why they're doing it. I want you to just focus on your own work and your own progress and your own goals. That sometimes takes real discipline to turn off that phone, turn off that playing on the computer, whatever you're playing, on the TV, and let's just focus on your own progress and your own goals. It's not easy. I mean, sometimes I get really distracted and I go down rabbit holes, but it's one of the things that as soon as I catch myself doing it, I think, okay, I'm doing it. I'm going down a rabbit hole. Let me pull myself back. And that's part of what I want you to try to do. Part of the distinction of this focusing on your own success is also figuring out, are you a doer or are you a blamer? Is the reason why you can't get things done, you're constantly telling yourself it's because you have ADD or ADHD, or are you just not doing what you need to do? So I want you to think to yourself, I am not going to be a blamer anymore. I'm going to take the bull by the horns. I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to focus on my own success. I'm going to focus on the answers to getting things done and not on anyone else. It's interesting to me because if you kind of look at life like it's a big soap opera, you can step off and out of the soap opera for over a week or 2 or 3 or 4, sometimes for a year. And guess what? When you come back, it's exactly the same. So if you think When you're looking at social media or you're looking at a video or a movie or reading, think to yourself, that's always going to be there. I don't have to do that right now. Let me go back to focusing on my own success and push that out of my mind for now. It'll be there when I want it. Years ago, I interviewed another coach when I was becoming a coach, and she used this really interesting visual, and it has stuck with me ever since. And I wish I remember the name of the coach, because I love to give credit where credit is due. But she said something like, are you Eeyore or are you Tigger? Right? We all know Winnie the Pooh. I know that Eeyore is a downer, and everything is always such a struggle, right? Is that you? Are you Eeyore? Nobody wants to be around an Eeyore. Everybody would rather be around Tigger, or at least some mix of Tigger and Eeyore combined, right? Because even Tigger can get to be a bit much. But my point here is that we want you to be happy. We want you to be enthusiastic. And part of doing that is no longer taking the excuse of what you have been labeled and diagnosed with, which is very true and very possible. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but we want to just work around our limitations and turn them into a superpower. The fact that you have ADHD is actually a superpower. You can sometimes hyper focus and get things done very quickly. So we want to try to tap into that. Sometimes it's just the simple things in life. And I hope that you got that from this video. It's not always a complicated answer on how to get things done. It's the simple things like turn off your phone, turn off the TV, don't talk as much, focus on one thing at a time. And these labels that we're putting on ourselves really don't matter. The bottom line is, how do you work around your skill, your talent, and possibly a diagnosis like ADHD? Baby steps equal huge leaps and bounds. In my Profit Insiders for Interior Designers group program, we deal a lot with distraction, overwhelm, ADHD, and all kinds of things. So if you're struggling as an interior designer to grow your business and become more profitable, click the link below and fill out an application. Doesn't obligate you to be a member, but it gets you on my calendar for a 20-minute review of what's going on in your business. And sometimes one little tip can be the trick for you. Go have a great day. Talk to you soon.